I couldn't tell
The difference
who
between-
was Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears.
Britney Spears looked like she smoked weed, and then Christina Aguilera looked like she did meth. That's the way you tell.
Oh yeah, so you'd end up with a Pikachu as gay camp, and you'd end up with a Pikachu as trans camp.
I'm in a K-hole, and I'm like, you're not in a K-hole. Like, I would need to give you like so much more. But then the next 5 hours proceeded to convince me that he was indeed in a K-hole. You know, we can't air this, dude. We can't air this right now. The girlfriend takeover in this house is getting out of control.
Oh yeah, I was looking around and I said, bro, you have a tchotchke infestation.
Yeah, and at first I was like, what do you mean by that? And then I looked around. I was like, you're right. There's like dozens of little cute things all around the house that weren't there.
Yeah,
a few years ago.
And my comparison would be, just imagine these are little painted ceramic figurines sitting on a glass shelf.
Right.
At grandma's house.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where it like you were
yeah,
like,
right.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, this is the same thing, same grandma syndrome, but grandma's in her 20s still. It's become rampant.
Likes having cute little things, likes being surrounded by cute things.
Yeah, she enjoys it. I know she enjoys it. It makes the house feel more like a home. And in her defense, my house is pretty boring in terms of like there's not a whole lot of personality to it. It's just, there's furniture, there's some decor. There's nothing that tells you, if a stranger came in here, this house wouldn't really tell you much about who lives here. I don't have pictures of people or myself or anything like that.
You just have PCs laying around.
That's the one thing that you'd be like, this guy's a nerd. This guy is going to die alone. That's the one thing you could tell.
Well, but with the feminine touch, now it becomes, like, oh, there's somebody here who has wooed a woman and she's saw fit to put her fingerprints all over.
Right, yeah.
Aesthetically speaking.
Happy girl, happy world, I suppose. Maybe that's where I'm going with it.
I think the his and hers workstation, game station things were like the launch pad.
Right, yeah.
And then, it's just...
And then it's just become a cute mold, that's just slowly grown over time. It's just slowly taking over
benign.
Different parts of the house. It's benign, thankfully. But it does show no stops of slowing down.
Yeah.
It continues to grow. I like it. I've gotten used to it. The good thing is that it's happens gradually over time. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just like overnight, suddenly like a million things were popping up. It's given me time to adjust and accept it.
I think you've integrated it into your aesthetic to a degree.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like they don't clash.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's still mostly like nerdy stuff, but it's cute.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is stuff that I like too, like Pokemon and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. If it was like a bunch of like My Little Pony shit, someone would be like, Chris Hansen needs to pay a visit to this house. This looks very sus.
I wonder about the demographics of fans of that show. Like at this point, how many of them are adults versus children?
It's probably a pretty good split. The show is different though than like the cards, like the trading cards.
Oh, of course there's trading cards.
Yeah, I have a Pokemon card addiction. Or you're talking about My Little Pony?
Yeah.
Oh, that is probably, I don't think they have trading. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. Because I'm not a freak, but I know I watched a documentary on that. It was like the Pony Con, whatever the hell it's called. And it's like mostly dudes, mostly younger dudes, like, teens and up.
That's the whole brony culture. Right?
Bronies, yeah, BronyCon or whatever it was, and it was like a whole thing. And it's so funny. You just see like the parents just like shaking their heads the whole time and just like, I don't know, like
people went to a con and they brought their parents,
or either I think one kid brought his parents.
Okay, so there was. Okay, so there was a lot of like adults going to this con, but then there were a few kids also.
Yeah. Actually, it was a good split between kids, and most everyone there was there because they wanted to be there. But then they did follow this one. He might have been like 16, 17-year-old kid who brought his dad to like show him the culture and be like, this is what it's like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
And the dad, kind of like super resistant at first, and then by the end of it, he's just kind of like, yeah, it's like I get it. I get it. It wouldn't be my first pick for what I want my straight son to be into, but everyone was nice. But also, like, cameras are rolling, so of course he's not going to be like a total dick right there.
I've never seen cameras stop that from happening.
Yeah, I guess every parent's different. That's true.
No, I mean, I'm just in people in general.
Oh, yeah, fair point.
Sometimes cameras just make them double down.
Yeah, but the brony culture is, it's been quiet though. I haven't heard much about it lately.
It seems to have, yeah, definitely quieted down. I remember, 10 years ago, it was like very hot.
Right. Yeah, I think those guys have probably just migrated to something else. Probably the next.
I said 10 years ago, and I immediately felt like, oh, that's probably way too long. But I've learned recently, just time has changed in its relativity.
It has.
And so what feels like 5 years ago is actually 10 years ago. What feels like 10 years ago was 20 years ago.
Exactly.
So I've tried to just automatically adjust for that.
That's 100% true. Like, I've been doing that myself, where I'm like, if I have to try to guess in a conversation when a movie came out, like, I'll like multiply it by 1.5x of what I think it is. Like, oh yeah, that came out in 2010. Well, actually, probably 2005.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm closer. That's a closer guess.
So yeah, I think you'll just have to keep doing that over time. And, and increasing the
In
multiplier.
Adjusting it. Exactly. Same thing with like guessing how much things cost.
Oh,
I'm like, we're going to an amusement park. Parking's probably like $15. It's like, no, try 40. Try 35.
Yeah.
It's like everything has gotten so expensive too.
I saw somebody. I know it's so interesting, social media stuff, but I saw I thought it was interesting. Somebody had an old Walmart online order that they had placed, and it was like $100, and it was from, I don't know, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it had an reorder button.
Oh no.
So he lower like add all to cart, like to reorder, and it came out to almost $400.
Oh my gosh. Just in that short time span.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Do you remember what was in there? Probably just random groceries.
It was groceries.
Just stuff.
It was food.
Yeah. I think isn't that what they do, like to measure inflation, to measure how the economy's doing? They look at the price of eggs.
I think
sort of like
that's one of like the key metrics.
Yeah, right. Like how much is an egg?
Yes.
I don't know the math or I don't know the numbers these days, but
remember like when the pandemic was in full swing and you're like, wow, I got my toilet paper now. Let me go to try to stock up on eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've never actually seen an egg in your fridge.
There's some in there now.
Are they chicken eggs?
They are chicken eggs. They're not
I was
salmon roe.
I was like, quail eggs, like
fish eggs.
Yeah.
No, I actually have. It's funny that you're saying that because I actually have like 2 18-pack cartons of eggs in there right now.
What has prompted this?
I've been trying to eat less processed food.
Okay.
Because that's, for the longest time, that's just been 90% of my diet, which has been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Just, deli meats and like sandwiches, bread, hot dogs, just random shit. And I was like, I need to slow this down. So I just, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I just bought a bunch of chicken, some steaks, I bought some eggs, and then
a bunch of venison in there.
Yeah, we got the venison that you got. I still got to crack into that. And then those salads, like those instant salads, are really nice. So I've just been trying to eat. I mean, obviously, like the dressing's not, that's heavily processed too, but trying to cut down on it. So I was like, eggs are a good thing to eat.
Yeah, they are.
They're relatively affordable if you go to a grocery outlet like we do. And a good source of protein. So
they have literally, eggs are interesting in that they have literally everything, every ingredient for life in them.
Literally, yeah.
Because it's all the stuff that could turn into a healthy baby chicken.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Except it never did.
Yeah.
Most of the time, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it is literally all the ingredients that you need to create like a living being. So
right.
It's just like, it's like the equivalent of like a health pickup, like just a generic, like it's good for everything.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I like eggs, and they're so versatile. You can do a lot of things with them, and you can prepare and cook them a bunch of different ways so they don't get so
over rice.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those people like making the egg omelet and then like folding it over rice?
Yeah,
and then slicing it and then like
yes, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
I'm not that skilled. Mine's usually just
apparently
a mess, but
it takes quite a bit of skill to do
right.
that.
Yeah, I know. I see it a lot in Japan and stuff like that. But yeah, I've just been trying to be a little healthier. And now I got to pair that with, because apparently like just losing, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. Apparently it's like 80% diet and 20% exercise. Like I had the exercise down, but for the longest, and I've been doing it consistently for the longest time and just haven't really been seeing any progress. So I'm like, it's because I'm eating like shit all the time. I need to change something. So, but yeah, enough of that lame stuff.
Hey, there's nothing lame about trying to be a better you, trying to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to turn this into like a self-help podcast.
Oh, yeah, that is not a road that I choose to go down.
Bros at home are like, stop being gay, Kyle. Being kind of gay right now. But funny story, what happened earlier this week on Thursday, I did an open mic with my friends Alvaro, and well, first of all, the open mic went well, but and you always get a bunch of different characters at these things. This is for stand-up, by the way. And the last guy to go up was this, like, he was 59 because he said it on stage. He's like, I'm 59. And he was like tall and lanky and had like super long straight hair. Looked like an AC/DC, like old punk rock, like, classic rocker guy. Looked like he had done a lot of drugs. Looked like he was on a lot of drugs even at the time. And
that's impressive to look like you've done a lot of drugs and also look like you're currently on a lot of drugs.
Yeah, no, I mean, this guy
that's a look.
This guy was out of his mind. It took me a whole minute to realize that it was actually just, this is who this guy is, because I thought he was doing an act. I thought it was a whole bit. He was like screaming, like screeching into the mic every 5 seconds. He'd be like, just wanted to let you guys know that I love the ladies. I just think they're like so hot. And like that was for 5 minutes straight. It was just that, like the mega high methed out energy. And everyone was like, there were some laughs or whatever, but it was more like nervous laughter. Like, I hope this guy, like what, like just everyone was shaking their heads.
I hope everybody makes it safely out of this room tonight.
Alvaro was like this the entire, he didn't make eye contact. He couldn't make eye contact with a guy once. He was cringing so hard. He was just like this for 5 minutes. There's some dudes at these open mics that are just, they're like the Lost Boys or something. They're just there for therapy. Like they're just there to like dump out all of their mental issues, vent about all their problems.
You know what? That seems like an appropriate forum. It's like
it's cheaper than
therapy.
It's $5.
You can get live feedback from non-professionals.
Really, yeah.
And there is something to be said for just like getting stuff off your chest.
Yeah.
Like, this has been on my mind, and
right.
doing it in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty cathartic.
It was. I think a lot of guys exactly feel that way. I mean, I went to one open mic where the guy just talked about his gambling addiction for 5 minutes. He didn't even tell a single joke. He was just like, I lost a lot of money last week. I went to Vegas. Everyone's like waiting for a punchline. At some point, all of us were like, oh, okay, he's just talking about gambling. But anyway, that guy was nuts. And then afterwards, Alvaro and I, we went back here, and he brought some shrooms. He brought some shroomies, but we were just hanging out, chilling. And then he's like, you got that ketamine? I'm like, yeah. So he busts out the K. And I'm like giving him like super small little bumps and stuff, right? I don't do any. And then he's like, what's a K-hole like? He starts asking me about K-holes. And I'm like, you got to be prepared for it. He's like, I'm down to do it. And I'm like, yeah, you got to just make sure that you're mentally prepped for it, because it can be very intense. And so the whole time, like, he was just like, oh no, I have a high tolerance though. Like you can give me. I'm sure it wouldn't even happen to me. Like even if you gave me a lot, it probably wouldn't affect me, because like other drugs, whatever. I'm like, no, it would definitely affect you. Everyone has a breaking point with this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I start giving him like a few more bumps. Like in my mind, I'm just like, he would need like at least 3x what I'm giving him to even enter a K-hole. Mm-hmm. But he enters one. He enters one. And I was at first, he was just on the couch and he's like, his head's in his hands. He's like, dude, I'm in a K-hole. And I'm like, you're not in a K-hole. Like I would need to give you like so much more. But then the next 5 hours proceeded to convince me that he was indeed in a K-hole. And he was, you know how it is, like you're sort of in and out. And so for like, 20 minutes, he'd just be like out, and then he'd like look up at me for a sec.
I just realized the universe.
Yeah. I was like, how, and I'm just like sipping on beer, just watching something on TV while he's just like experiencing infinity. That's what he was saying. He was like, dude, I'm riding the edge of infinity right now. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that sounds about right. and I was like, is it cool? He's like, no, it's not cool. he's like, I'm seeing things I shouldn't see. I shouldn't be seeing this. And then at one point he's like hunched over in the kitchen, just like this, like on the floor, like all curled up in the fetal position. And I'm like, you good? He's like, just shakes his head. And he just goes, egg. And I'm like, egg? He goes, I feel like an egg. I'm like a good egg? He's like, I feel like I have to protect everyone like a safety egg. And he was just going off, dude. He was having the time of his life. And maybe not in the best way, but
it was a worthwhile experience.
Oh man, and then it was funny because he came out of it and he was like, dude, you know what it felt like? And what I was really impressed by was that he then pulled up like a number of different scenes from movies or TV shows that he had watched to describe exactly how he was feeling at certain moments during the experience.
Interesting.
And so like that show Love, Death, and Robots, there's this one episode I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it. He pulled up one episode. It was like, dude, it was exactly like this. And then there's a scene from Spider-Man 3. This is the older one where he's fighting Sandman, and he puts Spider-Man holds the guy's face up to a moving train, and like almost like cheese grating his face into the train as it's going by. He's like, that's what it felt like. That's what like riding the edge of infinity felt like. And actually, like from seeing it, from me having done it, I was like, that's actually a pretty good. If you had to represent it somehow. I totally get what you're saying, but I was just really impressed by his ability because he had never done anything like it before, and suddenly all these things were coming to him. And he was like, "Dude, I just realized some things are just made to be watched on drugs."
That's a good cold open.
Oh my god! Yeah. Oh my god! It was so entertaining. It was so fun, and he was totally fine after it. But, oh my god, I died, dude. It was so funny. It was so funny.
That's an adventure, man.
He's like, how many times? He's like, you've done this before? I was like, yeah, I've done it like 3 times, two or 3 times. He's like, so you did it once and then decided you were gonna do it again.
That's like salvia.
yeah, exactly. I was like, why? What compels us? What compels us to just do this to ourselves?
I don't know.
I can't explain it.
It's like most people try salvia once and they're like, that was awful. And
never again.
I don't think it's an enjoyable experience.
It's not. Yeah.
But I do think that it's an interesting experience.
Yeah,
and
right.
Sometimes, you want to make life a little interesting.
Yeah, right.
And it's not necessarily the most easy or fun, but it's definitely interesting.
Definitely. And you were just saying, like, my life's so boring, like nothing really happens. Well, how about cracking open the universe every once in a while from the comfort of your living room? That's not a bad thing. That's it's very affordable, compared to most experiences these days.
True. Yeah, you go to Disneyland, that's like $300 easy. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just totally throwing out a number.
No, I mean, if you have kids, it's like you're spending $1,000 on one day, easy.
Oh,
you're spending over $1,000.
Oh, dude, I saw this this whole thing about that Star Wars themed hotel.
Yeah.
It was like $2,000. It was like $1,000 a night, or it was a little over $1,000 a night.
Yeah,
and
that's a lot.
Yeah, and it like failed. It crashed and burned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
they shut it down. But
oh, damn.
There was a YouTuber who did a like 4-hour review on it.
Jeez.
Yes.
Like a 4-hour long video.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And
some crazy dude.
No, she was like a legit
Star Wars
like
nut?
She just likes experiences that are like themed experiences.
Oh, okay.
So she went, and then a couple years later, or however long it's been, she made this whole video, and then I think Disney tried to copyright strike it.
Really?
Yeah, and that created a lot of hubbub.
That's lame.
Yeah,
probably because it wasn't a glowing review.
It was not.
Yeah.
Like it was a fair review.
Sure.
She was more than willing to give the benefit of the doubt and be like,
this was cool.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, it highlighted a lot of core issues.
Yeah.
And
yeah, if you're gonna charge $1,000 a night, there's a lot of things that you that opens you up to a lot of critiquing.
Speaking of, like we were, getting a good experience, bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's hard to compete.
I think you can do a lot more with $1,000 a night.
Definitely.
But
definitely.
Safely? I don't know.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah. Trip responsibly, everyone. Good PSA. But in other news, let's see what else. Mel found her phone in Japan.
Oh.
The police station in Tokyo found it. My cousin was able to verify that it is in fact her phone. And this is 3 weeks now since we've been there, and it just somehow came back.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna find a way to ship it back here. But it reminded me of this clip I saw recently where this baseball is huge in Japan.
Yes.
And there's that clip of like this girl catching a baseball from mega superstar baseball player in Japan, and then passes the ball around the entire, around the stadium for people to just look at and take pictures with. Mm-hmm. And then the ball just eventually comes back to her. Insane.
That is
my mind was blown.
That is such a different set of societal and cultural values.
Yeah.
It's
it's mind blowing.
It really is. It's not without, there's no perfect society.
Of course.
There are flaws in every one of them, but that is one,
that's a really cool one.
It's just neat.
Yeah.
It's the trade-off is you have to have very, very strong cultural and kind of ethnical homogeny.
Right.
Dang it. Remember the word homogeneous?
Right.
There's a way that I can not think of to pronounce that word that applies to this, but you have to have homogeneous culture and
I know what you mean.
For the most part, ethnicity.
Yeah.
And that's a trade-off.
Right.
Because with diversity comes diversity of behavior.
Exactly. It would never work here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is amazing that you lose your phone in another country, and it ends up with the police, and the police are like, yes, we've identified it, we'll correspond with you, we'll arrange to get it back to you.
Yeah.
They have police things to do locally, and they're taking time to get somebody in America their phone back.
Right. Exactly. Or maybe they have less police stuff to do because it is just such a crime-free area, a crime-free place.
Yeah.
But they still have stuff. There's still tourists that are probably messing things up.
You know what I thought? I saw that I thought was really cool in Japan is if you have an angry, agitated drunk person, mm-hmm. Instead of tackling them or tasering them, you just get a bunch of cops together and you take them to the ground, you put them on a blanket and roll them up in the blanket and take them to the station. They just gently dogpile them and then wrap them up and it's like a
they just
burrito.
Bubble wrap them. They just bubble wrap them basically.
Yeah, and then
that's so nice.
Take them off.
That's so comfy. You might even fall asleep.
And you don't get a skull fracture or whatever in the process.
So you're saying instead of tasing or just completely shooting someone, they tuck you in. They basically just tuck you in.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, there are certain things I love about Japan like that. They have, instead of worshiping celebrities, they worship cartoon characters to the point where there was another clip I saw because my algorithm knows that I was just in Japan, so I've just been getting all this Japan content. And there was lines there's a red carpet event, and you see just tons of Japanese people on either side, just taking pictures, flashing their cameras, screaming, "Oh my god!" And you're waiting to see who's coming down.
So it looks like
Justin Bieber's going to come down or something.
The Oscars or
the
Academy
Met Gala.
Awards.
It's the Met Gala or something, right?
Yeah.
And then what come down is like 4 or 5 of these people that are just in mascot suits of these cute bunny characters, the fat heads, just literally, and they are worshipped and idolized there, and it's it's so wholesome. These cute little characters, and people want to take selfies with them, but they're not wrapped up in just some flawed celebrity's life,
Yes.
Oh my god, I Mel told me the other day that there's this podcast, or the second highest earning podcaster in history, behind Joe Rogan, who got $100 million deal for jumping to Spotify exclusively, was this young woman who has a podcast where all it is just like getting celebrities on to talk about their tea and like their drama. Like, okay, well, why is Justin Bieber dating her and not, why did they break up or whatever? And then just getting exclusive drama details from high profile celebrities. That she made $60 million for that podcast. Whoa. Just to jump to Spotify. 60 million just to. So
she's like a solid competitor to TMZ and stuff like that.
That's exactly what Mel said. She's the direct competitor to TMZ, E! News, and she gets like even juicier details than those outlets do.
And in a much more wholesome way because it's consensual.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, you're not sticking a camera in someone's face while they're leaving the airport or whatever.
Yeah, because TMZ 100%. Is, I don't know, I get the impression they're kind of scummy.
Yeah, 100%. But, you know, the fact that that's like such a huge like there's so many eyeballs on celebrity gossip is wild to me. It's such a core part of our society that you just don't see elsewhere.
I just don't get it. It does not.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's like I can be mildly interested by it for momentarily, right. But it's not something that holds my interest or you know, sparks any kind of passion in me. I'm just like,
right.
Okay, so Taylor Swift is dating a guy. A bunch of people are worked up about it.
Yeah.
What's next? I don't care.
Exactly. It's like they're just normal people. They're just normal people.
I would say the noteworthy exception to that would be the whole rap beef that's happened
with Drake and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that I would say is exceptional simply because it's not just a bunch of drama. It's a bunch of very creative and talented people, you know, taking their drama and turning it into music.
Right.
And then that music blowing up and being super, super popular.
Yeah, definitely.
And I thought that was an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Because independently, celebrity drama or super popular music, typically I'm pretty mad about each one.
Right.
But that particular combination, I thought, that's pretty interesting. I haven't, you know, taken a deep dive into it, but it's like, I took note of it. I thought it was interesting. Speaking of which, did P. Diddy just like flee the country? Is that his current status?
Did that happen?
Yeah.
I haven't been following because, you know, I don't follow celebrity news. But
and look at me, the hypocrite, just asked we're talking about celebrities.
You're totally right though.
But my point being, like, a big part of that was like people casting aspersions about other people's behavior, especially, you know, inappropriate relations, you know, and interactions with minors, etc.
Right.
And that whole rap beef.
Yeah.
Which reminded me that I think something similar happen with.
There's some reports
that calling him the Diddler.
Yeah, it's so funny, P. Diddler.
Yeah.
And people were saying Diddy do it. Some of the nicknames are pretty gold. But yeah, there are some news articles saying, like this one just says, has P. Diddy fled the U.S.? So basically, it seems like they don't know where he is right now.
Okay.
Which
is just how he likes it.
Exactly. He's probably in some little kid. Did you hear? I think we all know where he's at. Did you hear about Dr. Disrespect? And here we go on.
More
celebrity.
Drama.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Hell, let's embrace it.
Yeah, you know what? We're in it. We're too close to the picture to really be out of it. But this is interesting because you know who he is, right?
Yes.
Okay, he's a big streamer, mega huge, probably top 5 streamers in the world, honestly. But he recently admitted on Twitter, on X, to sending inappropriate messages, private messages to a minor.
Yes.
Who was allegedly 17 at the time. I had a joke. I was like, so if she was 17 at the time, is he just a normal guy who jumped the gun or a pedophile who procrastinates? But it was a whole thing.
Pedophile who procrastinates. That's oddly, that's very specific, but it works.
It works. But he was, that's the reason why he was banned from Twitch, apparently, like 6 years ago. It was a whole thing.
Was that 6 years ago?
Yeah, right?
Okay, yeah, the multiplier
comes into effect. I was thinking 3 years. It's 6 years ago. It's 2017. 2017, 18. So
Damn.
yeah,
Okay.
almost 7 years. But it was a huge thing. He got banned from Twitch out of nowhere overnight and went to YouTube. He signed a contract with them, but it was completely, really tightly under wraps why he was let go from Twitch. And it seemed like it was like Epstein files, like it was never going to come out or whatever. And then someone kind of tattletaled on him last week or about a week or two ago. And then that source was confirmed by his own company that he co-founded and is a part of to be true. Those rumors were proven. There was some evidence behind it, not released, of course, to the public, but his employers and the people he works with were able to confirm with higher up sources that, these messages were in fact sent. And he did, in fact, message a minor inappropriate stuff. He was actually intending to meet up with the minor at TwitchCon that year.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Perhaps for nefarious purposes, I think is the assumption. But in his tweet, he says, he admits openly, did I inappropriately message a minor? Or did I message a minor? Yes. And did those conversations sometimes lean too far into being inappropriate? Also, yes. And then what's interesting is that he edited out the word minor after he sent that tweet. But people caught it. They screenshotted it. Like, dude. And then he put it back in.
Oh.
He put it back in.
He got caught.
So you see like all these like 3 or 4 revisions that he's just like, it's not really mine. It's, oh, shit, you guys know already. So just making the whole situation worse. And his whole defense is like, I wasn't charged with anything. There was nothing, there were no cases made against me. I didn't commit any illegal activity. I didn't do anything wrong. But obviously that's, everyone was like, that's exactly what all the pedophiles on To Catch a Predator say. Like, I just showed up at the house. It's not illegal to show up at the house. I didn't do anything with her. And it's like, yet. It's like, because you got caught before you were able to.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's in hot water now. His company fired him, completely dropped him. All of his endorsement deals gone.
Is he still streaming?
So when he sent that tweet, he was like, I'm going on a vacation with my family. I'll be back later. I don't have time for this. So he's been quiet since then.
Oh, okay.
He's been on vacation. But it'll be really interesting to see what it's like when he comes back. If he comes, he's probably going to stream again, I would imagine.
I've seen a lot of interesting, people like getting worked up about like defending him, and then people there's, I don't know. Okay, so I guess I'm a liar. I do pay attention to celebrity drama.
It's these days it's kind of hard to just escape. It's like
it is kind of omnipresent.
And you're right. People were defending him, saying like, well, she's 17. That means like if you text a minor and she's 1 minute away from turning 18, it's a crime. But a second later, she's allowed to like start an OnlyFans, and everyone's like, "You go, girl, you get that bag," and shit like that. But it's like if that's the argument you're making, well, then why doesn't the guy just wait 1 minute? Just wait 60 seconds. You want to just fucking, like it doesn't make any sense. But I don't know why the fuck we were talking about this in the first place.
I think we got into celebrity drama, and it just led to
It's crazy how much it just takes over. You know?
And then you're just like in this headspace of like, oh, did you hear about this other thing?
Yeah, right. It's like, I don't know. It's completely meaningless, and it doesn't affect us in the slightest. But yet it's just, I think maybe part of it is, it's sometimes I can kind of get it, like the celebrity gossip stuff. It's because it's totally unnatural for someone's personal life, their innermost secrets, to be on display for the world to see.
Right.
It's something that fortunately none of us, I got a taste of it with my divorce, right? Like, I didn't intend ever for my divorce to be a public display. That's like the number one Google search for my channel. It's like Bitwit divorce is still the number one search. Even today.
Oh, damn.
It's insane how, but that just goes to show like how obsessed we are with that, like to get that, to peer behind the veil of someone's personal life. With such like sensitive content. It's the forbidden fruit. It's a taboo. It's something. It's Alvaro in a K-hole seeing things he's not supposed to see. You just can't look away. It's just so fascinating.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
So
anyway.
I wonder what America would look like if we were super obsessed with like cartoon characters.
I know. Honestly, I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think it'd be more harmonious.
Definitely. Because cartoon characters don't really have an agenda. They don't really have like political beliefs. But they would. People
would end up projecting.
Yeah, right.
Their ideals, and then you'd end up with two camps. Like,
yeah, right.
I can't think. Pikachu is whatever. No,
why is he wearing a rainbow pajamas? Why are those pajamas multicolored? Does Pikachu stand for LGBTQ now?
Oh yeah, so you'd end up with a Pikachu as gay camp, and you'd end up with a Pikachu as trans camp.
Right. You have a Pikachu and a Jigglypuff holding hands. Like, that looks pretty gay. That looks pretty gay. It's like, no, they're hetero, dude. They're hetero. People have politicized everything up until this point.
That is a very annoying thing about this country. Is it's so engineered to create bipartisanship.
Yeah.
No, that's not the right word.
To make everything
partisanship over everything.
Yeah.
It's always us versus them.
Exactly. Yeah, and like that's something that they don't really have in Japan. They're kind of just a unit, a single unit. They're all on the same page. There's none of this internal like polarization.
Right.
So that's like, yeah, you put anything in front of anyone. Even facts, you put facts in front of two Americans, they can have they draw completely different conclusions from it.
Yes.
And
that's just how we do in America.
Yeah. So probably no Hello Kitty parades anytime soon for us, unfortunately. No Pikachu parades.
I did see a Hello Kitty scooter one time, like motor scooter.
That's pretty cool.
It was decked out.
Was a Asian dude riding it?
I don't know. I just saw it in a parking lot.
Oh, nice. Like a what kind of scooter? Like a Vespa?
Yeah, kind of like that. But like the whole scooter's pink, and it was had a Hello Kitty on the front.
It would be cool if we can get more fun with our cars, because everyone's so stressed on the road all the time in LA.
I think I just had an idea for something amazing.
Put ears on all the cars.
Just have a biker gang, but their whole gang is like everything is Pokemon themed.
Everything's Poke gang, dude.
Yes. So it's like a wholesome biker gang, and all their bikes are like Pokemon themed.
They've just got like a bunch of Pokeballs on their belt,
Yes.
Yeah, and they just go around helping the community.
Mm-hmm. Like cleaning up trash or
fixing tires,
stopping bullies.
Stopping bullies. They're like Captain Planet, dude. That's what we need, dude. We need some wholesome gangs.
Yes. Gangs who are trying to take back the word gang, turn it into something positive.
Right. But then like how does that work though? Because gangs are all about like, us versus them, like you were saying. So like what happens when two of these nice gangs confront each other?
They have to have a dance battle.
I was going to say orgy or something. Dance battle is definitely the way to go.
I mean, you could always take the Bonobo Chimp way and deal with your social confrontation by just having sex about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think that's the next level. That's the next step for Japan is they got to replace the Yakuza with like a My Little Pony or like a Pokemon gang. Super kawaii vibes. Kawaii gangs, dude.
The first time I heard kawaii, I was like, are they talking about the island?
Yeah. It took me way too long to realize that too.
Really?
Yeah. I was just like, there's probably something about that island where this stuff comes from. I just like started formulating my own theories of nonsense.
Because I was like, I do remember seeing a lot of Japanese tourists when I was in Hawaii.
Right, yeah. I mean, it is a very huge tourist destination for Japan. But yeah, kawaii just means cute, I think, in Japan.
Yeah.
In Japanese. But, yeah, dude. We don't have enough cute stuff.
You have a lot of cute stuff.
I do, yeah. My house has been Asianized. Asified. I don't mind it. I'm tapping into my roots.
You used to have, I don't know, like 4 sets of chopsticks. How many do you have now?
I actually haven't gotten any more chopsticks out of this relationship.
Really?
Yeah. I have enough. And also Alvaro actually brought me and Mel some custom made chopsticks from Japan when he went last year.
Oh, nice.
So they have our names engraved.
That's where those came from.
Yeah. So I have a set with my name, and she has a set with hers. What's really funny is he got a third set for himself, but because of the language barrier, the guy put it in Mel's name as well. So he just has these like $100 pair of chopsticks that he uses all the time with this like Mel on them, like engraved, like super high, fine quality.
They are really nice.
They're really nice, but he's just got them with my girlfriend's name on them. It's so funny.
I think I was looking at chopsticks and I was like, I'm a nerd, so I was like,
yeah,
I wonder how much it would cost to get carbon fiber chopsticks.
Ooh, just super lightweight.
Yes, like ultra high performance chopsticks.
Feels like my food's floating.
Yeah. I don't remember looking it up, but I'm pretty sure they exist.
Dude, imagine how fast you'd be able to eat.
Yes, if you're a competitive speed eater and you have to use chopsticks, I can imagine carbon fiber being your choice.
Yep. Asus made when I was at Computex.
Yeah.
They showed off one of their mice that's like full, like almost full carbon fiber.
Oh.
It's like a $500 mouse, but it is remarkably light.
It's like the weight of a hummingbird or something.
Yeah, seriously, it's like 30 grams.
Damn.
It's crazy, but it's $500. But yeah, there's some cool shit out there. But then it was funny too because like after that he told me about that chopstick incident. I was like, he also got a tattoo in Japan. I'm like, and then you thought to get a tattoo after how horribly wrong the chopsticks went. You're like, now let's put some permanent ink on my body. I'm sure. What's the worst that could happen? Fortunately, that went all right.
Did he get a traditional style tattoo?
It wasn't traditional style, I don't think. No,
okay.
But it's pretty sick. It's like a samurai, kind of like a with like the open mouth or whatever, just like on his forearm. It looks really good. Looks pretty damn. He's
got some good tattoos.
He's got some good ink.
I like his SG-1 tattoo.
Oh yeah, I forgot he has that one. That's right, and he's got Pikachu as well with the Dodger hat. It's pretty cool.
And still me with no tattoos.
Yeah, I know, right?
I just can't bring myself to do it.
You and I, we are vanilla bitches, dude. I'm cool with it though. I'm very cool with it.
You should get a really offensive tramp stamp.
Oh my god, what would it be? Just make America great again or something. That'd be an insane tramp stamp.
Make my butt great again. That would be
make
just
my butt great again.
Just just to troll people randomly, just bend over and pick something up and be like, oh, did you see my? Oh, I'm sorry, that was from a different time.
Times were different back then. Oh my god. All right, let's do a little Under a Rock, Dumb as a Rock. We have not done this segment in a very long time. It's a very beloved segment. A lot of people like this one, so we're bringing it back today. I was thinking of doing a TV edition where I show you a bunch of images. The way the show works, for those of you who don't know, is I show Ian a bunch of images of either celebrities or popular figures or just random pop culture things, and he has to identify what they are. And then afterwards, he gives me a number of vocabulary words, and I have to guess. And then we see if I actually know the definitions of them. It's a fun little game that we like to play. And today we're doing a TV edition. So this is all like stuff from like early like 90s, early 2000s, because you said that you didn't really watch TV growing up a whole lot.
No, and I haven't done a whole lot of catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of gaps.
So and a lot of this is, some of it's like kids show, some of it's like adult stuff. So it's kind of a mix. But I wanted to sort of test out just how shielded from that world, the TV world, you were growing up. So if you want to open up, you can ignore 1 through 5. Open up 6.
Unfortunately, the title is at the top.
Oh shit.
You did not obfuscate that, so I'll just put I'll call that one a gimme. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know that one.
You don't know it though.
I don't.
Okay, that's Rocko's Modern Life. That was a Nickelodeon show. It was a cartoon on Nickelodeon. Kind of SpongeBob SquarePants-esque, fun for kids, but also some
SpongeBob.
Good,
I do know
some good adult humor. Yeah, I almost put SpongeBob, but I was like, no, everyone knows SpongeBob.
Okay. These are the Spice Girls.
Wow. I am shocked, actually. I did not realize you would get that. I didn't think you'd get that.
I didn't think I'd get that either, but
wow.
I think I saw them in some media, and I know that name.
Okay. Damn. But I mean, this could have been any girl pop band or whatever.
How many of those were there?
I guess back in the 90s.
There were a lot of boy bands. I don't remember.
You're right. Yeah, a lot of the females were solo artists.
Yeah.
That is true.
For like a year, I could not figure out I couldn't tell
the difference
who
between
was Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears.
Britney Spears?
Yes.
Yeah. The way that I could tell was Britney Spears looked like she smoked weed, and then Christina Aguilera looked like she did meth. That's the way you tell. You go back to those photos, you know exactly what I'm saying. Britney had a little meat. All right, so number 8.
This is claymation.
That is correct.
Is it Robot Chicken?
No.
I don't know what that is.
This is pre-Robot Chicken. This is Celebrity Deathmatch.
I've heard of Celebrity Deathmatch. I guess I've never seen it.
It was a show on MTV. Back when MTV had some decent shows. And it was every episode was like maybe a series of like 3 or 4 matches. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like Kanye West versus Donald Trump, or just like 2 random celebrities. And it was just a claymation.
I'd watch that.
And it was like super just gory and bloody. And, you know, you basically just got to watch all these rich, famous people rip each other's heads off. It was great.
In claymation. That's great.
It was so fun.
That's very wholesome.
It was a good show. They had it going for a while. Number 9.
Okay, number 9. That's one of the. I actually, believe it or not, I've watched several episodes of that show.
Really?
Yes, I remember. One of the villains was like a monkey.
Yeah, Mojo.
Yeah,
Mojo.
I can't think of the name of the.
But you
the
clearly
show.
know it. You clearly know it though.
Yeah, because I remember the intro. Like,
yeah, sugar, spice,
yeah,
and everything nice.
And then there was, I actually
liked the show when I was younger.
I remember some one episode where they made they were like opposite boys, and they were like, they had snails and puppy dog tails and like, and they were like
yeah.
mean or something.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you know what? I didn't get to watch a lot of TV as a kid.
Yeah.
But I remember there were a couple times where I spent a good like week or 2 with my grandparents.
Right.
And I just,
grandparents TV.
Yeah. Well, my sister monopolized the big family room TV. I was in the basement watching the little TV.
That's kind of cool though. At least you had your own.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And was it like, what was that like having like access to a TV for the first like?
Oh, it was.
Were you stoked?
It was terrible. In retrospect,
sure.
It was terrible because I spent all my time watching TV instead of spending time with my grandparents.
True.
And like going on a trip to the aquarium.
True.
I was just like, this is like the biggest Halloween candy bowl that's been kept from me my whole life, and I just was like digging in.
Right.
So I ended up watching the same episode of Dragon Ball Z like 6 times because they aired the same episode. Like it's not like they have a new episode every day.
Exactly.
So anyway,
funny.
yeah, I Powerpuff Girls.
That's it. There it is.
I got there.
Yeah.
It took me a while.
Nailed it. No, actually, this is the girl that Dr. Disrespect was texting.
That's dirty, bro.
Dirty, bro. All right.
Man.
Well done. All right.
On 10?
We are on 10. Got to get this one, dude.
Oh, that's Carlton. No. Wait. No, that's
you're being very offensive right now. It's unbelievable what you're doing right now. You know, we can't air this, dude. We can't air this right now. You need to stop this. Listen, brother. The straight confidence, just going straight into it. Like, oh, this is obviously. I will say you're not far off. You're actually not. You're pretty warm.
Okay.
Same time era.
Same character type. Right?
Kinda, yeah. I would say. The
okay,
comedic relief.
I don't know. I haven't seen the show, whatever the show is.
This is Steve Urkel from the show Family Matters.
And is Carlton from Fresh Prince?
Carlton is from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith. Carlton's the flamboyant cousin. This is Steve Urkel from a completely different show.
Oh man!
But these shows, I remember very clearly. These shows ran back to back. It was Family Matters every evening, and then right after would be Fresh Prince.
I actually have seen Fresh Prince. I have never seen Family Matters.
Okay, yeah, Family Matters was good. You don't know this. You don't know the name Urkel.
I do know the name Urkel.
Yeah, he was the so Family Matters was a show, but it was a sitcom about it was a family, a black family. I forget where they were, San Francisco or something. But Urkel, this guy, was their next door neighbor, and you never saw his family. Like the camera was never inside of his house. He would just always come over, unannounced, uninvited, and just be annoying. Like he was like the annoying neighbor, and he like had a crush on the hot sister, on the hot daughter or whatever, Laura. And then he was like John Candy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He was just always like mess something up. And then his whole tagline, his whole line was, "Did I do that?" He would say that every episode.
So he was the one that you love to hate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But and then like they would be mean to him, and then he would get really sad, and like you would feel bad for him. You know what I mean? It's exactly like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Sounds like good writing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's who this guy is.
Okay. Well, I feel bad because that was just the name that popped into my head, but
yeah, nope. Well, you know what? You can't take it back.
No takesy backsies.
Do you have any vocab words? I know you didn't really prep too much. I didn't give you too much time to prep, but any vocabulary words that you'd like to yeet my way, make me feel like an idiot? And it doesn't have to be a lot. Just give me like 2 or 3.
Okay. Gossamer.
Gossamer. G-O-S-S? No. Is that 1 S or 2 S's?
2.
G-O-S-S-E-M-E-R?
A-M-E-R.
A-M. Gossamer. Gosh. Sounds like a D&D character.
Kind of does, actually.
You encounter an evil
So
Gossamer.
if you saw a Gossamer, what would you expect it to look like?
Probably like Reaper from Overwatch.
Okay, then I was hoping that you had sort of like an unconscious understanding of the definition that would inform your mental image.
Nothing. Well, after our recent conversation, I was thinking like a they them guy who works for TMZ because it's like gossipy, like a gossiping Gossamer. Like some guy with like pointing a camera in your face. Just be
I can see that. Meh. Gossamer is a soft, light, delicate material.
Ah.
So like if I was talking about somebody who had like a silk wedding dress and it was super light and delicate, it would be gossamer.
Oh, interesting.
Like that would be a word you could use to describe it.
It's an adjective.
I think so.
It was a gossamer material.
Yeah.
Ah. That's such an interesting word. That's a pretty word.
It is.
Gossamer. Sounds so fancy.
This is a good one. Boisterous.
Boisterous. Does that mean like not frisky, but like does that mean like kind of like pumped up but kind of sassy?
Yeah, you're definitely not hitting the bullseye, but you're within one of the rings.
Sort of like seems like a more like energetic type of description.
Yes.
What is
loud,
the actual?
Noisy, rough, lacking restraint.
Gotcha. Okay.
So basically, you at the bar.
I was gonna say me drunk as hell, getting so boisterous in the back of that Uber.
Yes.
God, I'm a hoot when I'm drunk. but I'm also very boisterous.
You are the definition of boisterous.
Yeah, I get so boisterous, dude. I start boistering around. I feel so bad for Val because I'm just like, she's got to be the one to be like, I'm sorry for him. He's fine.
You're an unstoppable force. She just has to like walk in your wake, apologizing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, I'm not destructive, you know, I'm not destructive and I don't like, I'm always like overjoyed. I'm super happy, you know, I'm like not, and I don't like start, you know, some people cry, some people like punch walls. I'm always in a very good mood, but I'm just boisterous as hell.
It is such a good word to describe you.
Yeah.
With alcohol.
3 sheets to the wind. I boiced out, dude. Boisty, Idaho. All right.
I have another good one for you.
Hit it.
Aspersion.
Aspersion.
Or you may have heard it, and probably more commonly you would have heard aspersions.
Aspersions. Jeez.
I'll give you a hint. I don't want to cast aspersions.
Oh. Is that like is that sort of like wishing someone ill will?
Not quite.
What does it mean?
It's kind of an old-timey word for slander.
Oh, okay. All right. Kind of throwing shade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to cast aspersions, but I heard blah, 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 blah.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't know if it's plural like that.
Cast aspersions.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. I like that.
Which is, you know, to say I don't use it all that often.
Right. I'd hate to cast aspersion on him, but Kyle was being rather boisterous last night.
Yes, and you know what happens after that is a period of quiescence.
Quiescence. After that, you feel a period of shame. Shame and guilt, or you get really quiet.
Yeah,
Quiescence.
Read it literally.
Quiescence does seem like the awkward silence after some ruckus.
It's a state of being passive or motionless.
Okay.
So after the boisterous period comes a state of quiescence.
Right. Yeah.
Sleeping it off.
Okay. Or after Mel reprimanded me for my actions.
That'll only last so long.
My quiescence followed shortly. Oh, I like that.
All right. You want one more?
Hit me with one more.
Affinity.
Affinity with an A?
Mm-hmm.
Affinity. Not affinity, but affinity.
Affinity.
Oh, affinity. That means like you have like you're fond of something, right? Like you have an affinity for fishing or something like that, or
yeah,
kind of like, or that you have like a liking towards something.
You're pretty much on it. It's like a close connection or relationship.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay,
yeah, I think contextually you definitely would have a understanding of affinity.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've heard that one. That's probably the one that I know the most. The other ones I've never even heard of. I've heard of boisterous. I just didn't know the definition. Nice. Those are good words. Solid words. I always love how much more informative and educational your part of this segment is than mine. But that's, you know, that's why we make a good combo, dude. A little bit of brain, a little bit of
Brondo?
Dick jokes. I don't know. A little bit of Brondo. Dude, that's another movie that we watched.
No, did you finally watch?
We just watched Idiocracy this weekend. We just watched it.
Was Mel depressed afterwards?
She was actually very surprised. I mean, she's probably already depressed before that movie. That just solidified. She's Gen Z, so they're already woke enough to know how fucked everything is. But she was like, she thought it was gonna be like a more like psychological movie. She didn't realize it was just like a dumb comedy.
Yeah,
like a smart dumb comedy, like where it's like she was like after it ended, she's like, I think I just lost every brain cell that I had left. I was like, yeah, that's the idea. Yeah,
Yep.
But she liked it. She thought it was very funny.
Nice.
She thought it was very funny. She finally gets the Brondo references.
And I don't know why that just seemed to work. Like a little bit of brains, a little bit of Brondo.
A little bit of brains, a little bit of Brondo. So perfect. Couldn't say it better myself. Guys, thank you very much. This has been episode 55. We will see you next week.
Later.